Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing a couple of old Matchbox food canteens, and then I'm going to make a little Fairground style diorama out of them. The first one is this old comma ice cream canteen. These were produced from 1963 until 1967. It's a bit of a classic with the little ice cream man in it there. It was mostly released in the blue versions, but there was a cream version as well. And our second one we're going to be restoring is this little mobile canteen. These were produced from 1959 until 1965. These are quite a neat little model. It's got a pretty detailed interior we'll get to have a look at a bit later on. So we'll just take them off the turntable and have a closer look. The milk cart first. It's definitely a worn out example, this one. It's missing most of its paint. Missing the top sticker there, and the side stickers are really totally worn out. Luckily the little man inside is in pretty good condition. He hasn't lost his ice cream, which is pretty common. And the mobile canteen, it's in similarly worn condition, missing a lot of paint, worn out old decals. It is also missing the tow hitch. The opening flap on the side is in great condition though, luckily, nothing wrong with that. So it should be a fairly easy fix. So I'll start by taking them apart. There's one rivet to drill out in the front of the canteen here. There's a notch at the back, so once that rivet is out, it just pops off easy. You can see that nice detailed interior there is attached to the base. The door here has been crimped on good and proper, so that's not going to be coming off. And Leslie have been a bit tricksy here, and there's no posts on this car at all, just a couple of tabs. So that's easily fixed. I'll just pry the rear open here and the base will pop straight off. I use a straight burr on my rotary tool to remove the smaller mushroom over ends of the axles, and then I can pop the wheels off. And with those removed, it's off to the stripping shop for some stripper. And here they are after paint stripping. You can see most of the paint has gone off of them. Now it's time for a tidy up with the wire brush on my rotary tool. This will remove the oxidation that's all over them and also any remaining scraps of paint. And here they are, looking a bit cleaner and a little bit more shiny. Really great details on this interior here. You can see there's a little grill and an oven there. There's a hot plate, a little fry pan, fish slice, sandwich press. There's a little clock up there, and the cash register there, and a water heater. This will be great fun to detail, I think. First I need to finish that broken tow hitch, so I'm just going to fold over a piece of steel sheet here and glue it together. Then I drilled a little hole in it. Now I'm going to cut this out in the shape of my tow hitch. And here it is after I've glued it on with some black Starbond super glue. This is a nice thick super glue, so you can use it as a kind of a filler, and I just built it up as much as I needed to make it look right. Now I'm going to file it down smooth. It's looking a lot better. Now that I'm happy with my tow hitch, I'm going to give it a coat of black primer. I then painted the interior there steel. And I've painted in some details here. Moving on to the body of the canteen, I'll just start by drilling out the post here and tapping it. I'm using a 1.7mm drill and a 256 tap. And with my post tapped, I can go ahead and spray it with some white primer. I then painted it a nice cream colour that I made. Next I mask a strip off around the canteen. And I paint this orange. Now I just need to remove my masking tape. That's looking pretty tidy. A little bit of overspray on the sign on top, but I can patch that up. Here are some decals that I've designed for my cart and my van. I've made some Mr. Whippy ones for the ice cream van, and I've designed some more Kiwi style takeaway sign for the canteen. Onto the van now. This is given a coat of white primer. I then mask off the top section. And I paint the lower half pink. That's looking pretty good to me. So now I'll go ahead and detail the van. Doing a white grille here, and then I detail the lights and some other parts in silver. With the detailing done, I can move on and apply my decals. Over here we have the Mr. Whippy ice cream vans. I'm not sure if they're very common overseas. I think Rob from Matchbox Garage said that they get them over there in England, so that's something. Moving to the plastic parts now. See, they're in fairly good condition, very grubby, so I give them a good wash and some hot soapy water. The windscreen's pretty good, it's got a crack on top there. And the interior here again is in fairly good condition. As I mentioned earlier, he's still got his ice cream, so that's good. A lot of them are missing. So I give it a coat of white primer, and then I mask off the little man. I then paint it black and then silver. Now I can unmask my little man and detail him. And here he is, our little detailed ice cream guy. I don't know what happened to his legs, but I've given him a blue coat there, and he's serving a little ice cream. I must say I have looked at this little ice cream man plenty of times and thought he would be fun to detail. Here's the windscreen after a good polish. That's looking good enough for me. The base of the ice cream van here, I'm just going to paint that black and then hit it with a satin varnish. Here are the little wheels from the mobile canteen. I wasn't keen on the grey, so I painted them black and then hit them with a coat of varnish. I did this to the wheels for the van as well. So here are the parts to our mobile canteen, all ready to go back together, and the parts of our ice cream van. But before we take a look at the reassembled vehicles, I'm just going to make a little diorama base to display them on. Start with a piece of extruded foam here. I'll fit my two canteens on it like that. The first step is to cover it with a bit of this spackling. This will serve as my ground surface. A couple of hours later, after it's fully dried, I'm going to paint it in burnt sienna. And once this had dried, I gave it a thinner coat of burnt umber. There we go, that's my slab of ground prepared. I'm now going to add some soil texture to it. I start with some slightly watered down PVA spread all over. And now I'm just sprinkling on some dirt that I've taken from my garden and dried in a hot oven, and then I've sieved it down. Once I've got a nice covering stuck all over it, I tip the excess off and then I saturate it with some scenic cement. Here it is the next day, it's completely dried there, that dirt's not going anywhere. I want to have a tree on my diorama, so I'm going to glue the base of it on here before I put my grass on. Just using some tacky glue. I then add a bit more glue and dirt around the base so that it doesn't look so fake there. And with my tree stump in place, I'm now going to start adding some grass. I'm going to start by painting the whole thing over with some thin down tacky glue. And next I sprinkle it with a couple of different mixes of scatter grass. Some flowery ones around the edges there and a more green one on the main section here. Next to add some longer grass around the outsides here. And paint on my glue again where I'd like the longer grass to be. And then I use my static grass applicator to apply some longer grasses using a mixture of 6mm and 4mm ones. And here is the grass finished. I made a tree to put on my diorama. I can show you how I did this in another video sometime. I just glue my tree into the stump there and then I painted it and added a couple of little flowers and some bushes. With our diorama complete, we can now go back and take a look at our finished food canteens. But just before we do, we'll take a look back and be reminded of what we started with. Here is our worn out looking old ice cream canteen, missing most of its blue paint there, some old cruddy looking worn out stickers. And the ice cream man is looking fairly grubby as well. I don't think I'd be buying an ice cream off of him. So let's see what we can do with it. And here it is, our finished customized Matchbox, ice cream canteen. It's had a nice new pink and white paint job. The Mr. Whippy company has bought it and decked it out as a nice Mr. Whippy van with some flash new decals, some zhuzhed up wheels, and the ice cream man has been given a nice clean new jacket and been made to clean his ice cream van out a bit. And here is our old mobile canteen. Again, looking really worn out, missing most of its paint. Stickers are looking tatty. Again, I don't think I'd be so keen to go here and buy myself some lunch. So let's see how it looks after it's been cleaned up and repainted. And here it is, our nice new Matchbox mobile canteen. It's had a nice new paint job of cream and orange. It's got brand new custom signs. It's had the interior detailed. The wheels have been cleaned up and painted black. And it's even got a nice new tow hitch. I must say I'm super happy with how this one came out. I think the cream and orange paint job with those signs looks really good. And the interior looks really great detailed. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll now say a big welcome to all of my new subscribers and say big thanks to everyone for the awesome comments and likes on my videos. As always, an extra special thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters. They donate just a few dollars to the show every month, which helps me to make videos like this for you guys. If you'd like to join them and help support the show, you can check out my Patreon page. There'll be a link in the description below. Thanks heaps for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends.